Graced with Spanish moss and southern charm, Georgia's oldest city is perched by the waters of the Savannah River, which glide eastward towards the North Atlantic Ocean. Just a 2-hour flight south of New York, Savannah greets travelers with open arms. It charms all who come with historic splendor, bewitching tales, natural delights, and Southern comfort flavors. Welcome to the hostess city of the South. In 1733, a group of carefully selected settlers, led by James Oglethorpe, embarked on an epic voyage across the Atlantic to establish the colony of Georgia. They found the perfect location for their new colonial capital 17 miles inland from the mouth of the Savannah River. In one of the earliest examples of Southern hospitality, the settlers were welcomed peacefully by the native Yamacraw tribe. The new township thrived, free of the bloodshed which had stained the beginnings of many American colonies. Dreaming of a new world utopia, Oglethorpe envisioned a city overflowing with lush open squares. These generous green spaces are where the city comes to breathe and have earned Savannah its second nickname, the Forest City. Start your journey in Savannah's historic downtown, where one of these iconic squares is never more than a 5-minute walk away. Each is an oasis of natural gifts, from the sweet aroma of magnolia and crepe myrtle to the ethereal beauty of ancient oaks. Just as the city's oaks are festooned with Spanish moss, so too are her streets embedded with stories. Admire the exhibits at the Savannah History Museum, where treasures from the past bring Georgia's last 3 centuries to life. Savannah's history is not confined to its many museums. It's alive in the bustling laneways and courtyards of City Market, a hub of modern Southern style. Despite a culture of revitalization, many of the city's historic houses have been lovingly preserved. Visit Davenport House, saved from the developer's wrecking ball in the 1950s by the determined ladies of the historic Savannah Foundation. Tucked away in a leafy corner of Oglethorpe Square is Owens Thomas House and slave quarters. Wander the extravagantly furnished halls and learn about Savannah's upper class, whose wealth was built on the toil of enslaved men, women, and children. Then step inside the humble slave quarters for a glimpse into the injustices suffered by the black people who were imprisoned here. Finally, call into the Telfair Academy, a fine example of 1820s grandeur, which became the very first art museum in the South. The historic heart of Savannah is a vibrant melting pot of past and present. Wander along River Street, cobbled with ballast stones, which arrived in the bellies of trading vessels from across the globe. Today, funky restaurants, breweries, and shops have taken up residence in the cotton warehouses of old. If If you like your southern fare served with a side of spooky, weigh anchor and drift on over to Pirate's House, Savannah's oldest building. Once frequented by rowdy seafarers and unsavory characters, today the tavern continues to serve thirsty travelers and lovers of ghost stories. Tales of paranormal oddities abound in the city of Savannah. Take a horse-drawn carriage to Laurel Grove Cemetery, where restless spirits are said to lurk among the headstones. Moss-laden crypts and mausoleums can also be found at the Bonaventure Cemetery, made famous by the best-selling novel Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil. Pay your respects at the hauntingly sweet burial site of Little Gracie, where they say the child spirit plays with toys left at her grave. But fear not. Despite reports of ghostly apparitions, Savannah knows how to soothe travelers with comfort food. Share a meal of home-style Southern fare with neighbors and strangers at the communal tables of Mrs. Wilkes' dining room. Then head to Leopold's and savor a scoop of creamy goodness from a 100-year-old ice cream parlor. Once your belly is full, continue your historic buffet 3 miles east of the city at Old Fort Jackson, a Confederate bastion during the Civil War. Travel further east to hear the crack of the 19th century cannon fire at Fort Pulaski National Monument, a Civil War stronghold overrun by Union troops after a grueling 30-hour siege. After experiencing the gun smoke of Civil War history, cool off at nearby Tybee Island, a popular weekend getaway for generations of Georgian families. On your way back to the city, be sure to stop at the Wormslow Historic Site. Cruise down the Avenue of Oaks, then explore the tabby ruins of the estate of Noble Jones, one of Georgia's earliest colonists. Back in Savannah's downtown, soak up the burgeoning creative scene in the Starland District. This area is also home to the Forest City's 30-acre green gem, Forsyth Park, where the waters of the city's symbol sing their timeless song to all who pass. So come, traveler, come to a destination which opens its arms in welcome. Be embraced by the hostess city of the South. Eat of her bounty. Be swept up in her stories and fall in love with her irresistible Southern charms. Chances are you'll want to linger here for a while.
Cuando, bien jovencito, viajé a la cima de un cerro. Podía ver todos los volcanes nevados que me rodeaban. En ese momento vinieron cóndores a volar encima nuestro. Podía oír el rugido del viento en sus plumas. Fue un impacto enorme. En ese momento sentí que si los cóndores se iban, era como perder las nieves eternas de nuestras montañas. Yo soy Luis Jacome y trabajando hace 3 décadas para la conservación del cóndor andino. El cóndor andino es el ave voladora más grande del planeta. Es un pájaro capaz de medir 3 metros de envergadura alar, que cumple un rol invalorable en el ecosistema. Al ser carroñero, limpia los campos de foco de infección. Cuando comenzamos con el trabajo, el cóndor estaba dando signos inequívocos de vulnerabilidad, de extinción. El programa de conservación cóndor andino tiene pilares importantes. Uno de los pilares más importantes del programa es el rescate. Cuando un cóndor está en problemas y se le brindan atenciones de alta tecnología, de alta complejidad, otro de los grandes pilares está en la incubación artificial, en la cría, porque estas aves tienen muy baja tasa reproductiva. Tienen una cría cada 2 o 3 años. Hacia 1996 habíamos obtenido el primer pichón de cóndor nacido en Latinoamérica. Eso nos valió el premio Rolex. Gracias al premio de Rolex, nosotros comenzamos con el programa de reintroducción. La primera suelta de esos primeros pichones es increíble. Hoy hemos logrado liberar 219 cóndores en la naturaleza. Y con el Centro Goddard Espacial de NASA pudimos desarrollar los transmisores satelitales. Gracias a las tecnologías de seguimiento, nos enseñan qué lugares son específicamente importantes para ellos. Esto es una herramienta realmente poderosa. Junto con los gobiernos, las declaramos santuarios del cóndor. Tenemos más de 56.000 kilómetros cuadrados de áreas naturales protegidas y esperamos incluso llevar esta estrategia a países vecinos. A pesar de todos los logros alcanzados, en este momento el cóndor enfrenta problemas realmente tremendos. Algunos pobladores rurales estaban poniendo veneno sobre ganados muertos, intentando matar grandes carnívoros, y cuando el cóndor baja a comer, lo envenena y lo mata. Hacemos encuestas con pobladores rurales, hacemos campañas educativas y estamos haciendo un esfuerzo enorme a nivel nacional para tratar de abordar este problema. Mucha gente hace el cambio. A través del cóndor se produce esa magia que de golpe uno entiende el lugar que ocupa, ¿no?, en este mundo. Eso es invalorable. Para eso estamos trabajando.
Eden, I'm 24, I'm from Nigeria. I'm very passionate about arts, music and creative writing.
I'm Simone, I'm 18 and I'm from Milan. I love making music and I love movies.
I think his style is very colorful, very vibrant, very joyful. It takes me back to a happy place and I love how expressive it is. I think it brings out our innate childlike individualities.
I love Milan. It's an unpredictable city. It changes every day and you never know what you're gonna experience when you visit it.
Art inspires my roots. It helps me express myself. It inspires the creative side of me. It allows me to express myself in every way, form and shape.
Ciao, sono Gaia, faccio l'artista. Amo camminare, leggere e dipingere. Beh, l'arte, a parte essere un grande amore, è una costante di vita nel cercare bellezza. Milano la trovo una città piena di stimoli artisticamente. Abito nella zona Navigli, mi piace tantissimo anche perché c'è l'acqua, che è un elemento maschera caratterizzante di Milano. Mi piace molto lo stile di Giampiero d'Alessandro perché è semplice, è giovane, è colorato. Il mio stile è dettagliato, è abbastanza minuzioso. Reinterpreto capi tagliandoli, cucendoli, ricamandoli con le mie illustrazioni. La prima cosa che mi viene in mente se mi dici arte è libertà, emozione.
Ciao, mi chiamo Willow Scenodiete, ho 26 anni e vado in skate da quando sono piccolino. L'arte mi stimola e mi rilassa allo stesso tempo, mi permette di vedere il mondo attraverso occhi diversi. Milano è una città molto frenetica e ti permette di vivere diversi ambienti e possibilità, quindi in realtà mi piace. La zona in cui vivo è molto multietnica e molto culturale. Lo stile di Giampiero d'Alessandro mi piace, l'ho trovato stimolante e ho trovato delle sue grafiche anche online. Se penso all'arte mi viene in mente lo skate, il mio ambiente, perché accomuna molti più settori e situazioni, mi piace molto. Il mio stile? Comodo e sportivo ed estroverso, come il mio skate.
Yeah, our preparation is going quite well. Yeah, we've just been working hard, pretty much after the Olympics straight on, and it's been going well. Yeah, it looks quite light now for the next few days. Maybe we'll get a bit more wind towards the end, but yeah, I don't know. We'll just race with what we have.
And expectations for the week?
Oh, I'm not too sure. At the moment, we're just trying to get better, and as you say, prepare for the next big event, the Worlds this summer, and then in a few years the Olympics. So we'll just be working on that and trying to get a little bit better by little. Yeah.
Now I've been here for about a week, and now is day one of the Allianz World Cup. We have had the last week, breezy offshore conditions, 20 knots. And, of course, it happens to every sailor, every regatta. You're training something, and it's completely different conditions for day one of the regatta, which makes it very interesting, something new, and it's going to be a challenge for today. Yes, always a really strong fleet in the Ilka 6, and a lot of really fast athletes.
The Kalahari's got its own draw. It's vast and it's forever. You've just got to get into those sand dunes on your own, and there you're going to find a lot of solitude. It can seem like a place of massive emptiness, but you suddenly find 5, 6 different animal tracks right there. There's this huge amount of life, and when I'm on a filming project, I really like to try and live like the animals do so that I can experience the hardships that they're going through. I want to see wildlife in a totally different context, and that's really, I suppose, what draws me to the Kalahari. It's the vastness and the openness. I really enjoy being able to see these massive distances. Those are great images and things that stick with you.
June 21st, 1964.
So I ask those killers, can you sleep again? Those 3 are on my mind.
In Philadelphia, Mississippi, 3 civil rights workers disappear while trying to help blacks register to vote. Michael Schwerner, Andrew Goodman, and James Chaney are ambushed and killed by Ku Klux Klansmen. 6 weeks later, their bodies are found buried in an earthen dam. 1788. The Constitution of the United States takes effect as New Hampshire becomes the 9th state to ratify the document. 1834. Cyrus Hall McCormick receives a patent for his reaping machine, the grain-cutting invention that revolutionizes farming. 1982, a jury in Washington, D.C. finds John Hinckley, Jr. not guilty by reason of insanity for shooting President Ronald Reagan and 3 others. Hinckley, who said he shot Reagan to impress actress Jodie Foster, is committed to a psychiatric hospital. And finally, also that same year,
career in the armed services would be the best thing at the moment because, it'd be lovely to recognise all the hard work that the armed forces are doing.
Prince William, second in line to the British throne, son of Prince Charles and the late Princess Diana, is born in London. Today in history, June 21st. Camille Bohannon, The Associated Press.
Welcome back in our studio, and in today's news,